What's the most interesting human male fighter character you've ever come up with?
So I'm sorry to say, guys, but only absolute gigachads are allowed to post on this in this thread, and also you're only allowed to comment on this video. So if you're not a
gigachad, don't comment.
Yeah, just don't bother, because this video is meant for gigachads only, myself and Megan. Do you want to paint yourself black and white and elongate your chin or some shit? You know what I mean?
And grow a massive penis.
Yeah.
I made a human fighter who was from Anachrome. Specifically, he was a colonial from Fort Flame who hated elves because of the constant attacks on the settlement by them. He was also vaguely racist towards all the other races because he'd never seen them before, and pretended to be a veteran flaming fist to get work. He was sceptical of most things in general due to genuine unfamiliarity.
Close enough.
A real fish out of water. He was an unlucky son of a bitch, a gambler, loyal to the coin first and foremost, and to his party second. Eventually, the sellsword softened up and learned not to take things so seriously. He found friendship in what he had at first considered to be nothing but a business transaction, and then love, and then she died. And that's about where I am with him.
That's good, I like that. Yeah. I do feel like a lot of people are you get a lot of knee-jerk reactions from people, I find, whenever people make characters that already have a deep hatred for other races. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in a fantasy world, if you were you humans and you lived on your wee village and you were constantly getting shit nicked on you by fucking halflings, are you telling me you would not be curb stomping halflings on a daily basis?
Yes. His name was Sid. He was a farmer. One day the gods decided to fuck Sid's skull with visions of the future, while also sending him ruins to his farm, family and home. Sid was cursed with bad luck, and was born clumsy and pathetic. Sid the Unfortunate tried to save the world with a group of heroes who then died. He found another group who also died. He then found my character and our other party members. We are on a quest to stop his vision of the future from ever coming true.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
cool.
that.
I like that.
Look, I am a bit of a sucker for maybe if you wanted to, put in a sorcerer, maybe a level or two into sorcery, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I am a fan of nothing, nobody to hero sort of storyline. I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for that sort of, see whenever someone shows up and they've got a fucking 10-page backstory about how great they are, but they're level 1.
Yeah.
I don't know,
No.
it just doesn't feel right.
Raised in a cute hamlet by 2 loving parents. Had friends and a good youth playing hide and seek and rambunctious mischief. Casually picked up the sword for fun with his friends as a diversion. Went to local plays with his family and friends. Gained an appreciation for poetry from his uncle. He and his friends would spend days lazing beneath a tree reciting poetry or sparring. Eventually met a cute girl who he fancies. When he became an age, he got a job working with a trade caravan to a larger city.
Sorry? Fuck me. We're recording a few videos today, guys, alright?
Mostly just had to make loud noises to keep away animals and pet the pack animals. He sent money to his aging parents and buys gifts for the girls he likes. He gives them a taste for adventure and a desire to spread happiness. Eventually he decides to set out for the city to tearful goodbyes and promises to write. He arrives at the inn and meets up with other adventurers. A chaotic neutral tiefling warlock who burned down his town out of boredom. A neutral dragonborn sorcerer biter hermit cast out from society who shunned him. A kobold bard who wants to discover the milk of song. The milk?
What the fuck's the milk of song?
Who doesn't understand humour or racism. And finally a dwarf priest who actually really loves elves and hates dwarf culture.
What? That's actually kind of funny.
Somebody wrote a hipster dwarf is an interesting angle.
Yeah, there was a thread I was in the other day, and it was asking about why is it elves? There's about 1 billion different types of elves, but when it comes to dwarves, there's dwarves.
Yeah, just
but
dwarves.
Just you know a dwarf when you say a dwarf, but elves can kind of be whatever within reason.
Yeah.
But the first comment on it, which just proves a point, first post, best post all the time, was even if there was, they would just be as shallow as fucking the billion different types of elves anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Why bother making all these? Because they're not going to be... Like, I think this is why people like dwarves, because they are interesting, and I feel like elves, people just like to throw different paint schemes on them. Yeah. Or, you know what it reminds me of? What I kind of think of? Okay, so essentially, Johnny Depp. Every movie he plays for the past 20 years, he plays Johnny Depp with a new hat. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yes, I get it.
Every single fucking movie, and depending on what hat he is wearing, depends on who he is. There is no difference. And, this comes into play with... This is why a lot of the time I will end up just playing humans or dwarves. And I think I played a Goliath a while back, but I don't really play much else. Yeah. Because I feel like I would just not be giving them justice. Yeah. And I feel like I would just be playing a human with a silly hat on. Yeah. Does that add up, or does that make sense to you guys? This is also why human fighters are gigachads and deserve their...
Well, they're always based and will always be
based and will 100% be red-pilled at all times.
I had an escaped Roman gladiator fighter called Maximus Homo. We're nearly 30, guys. He was a big guy and a pyromaniac who used bullying to get what he wanted, until he realised disfiguring himself to become unrecognisable and inventing a noble background/accent from some imaginary country was better for his social mobility as a mercenary. Ended up becoming a Praetorian guard and was killed when he took opposing sides to the other PCs in a power struggle, and one of them jumped out of a high cathedral window while physically swapping places with him.
Was this a DM player character? This feels like a DM player character. I don't know why I'm getting DM player character vibes, but I love the name. Well, no, actually, no DM would actually call the DM player character Maximus Homo. So it's definitely like, I'm sorry, but we so many players just pick the stupidest fucking names. That I'm the Floss Maiden game, I show up with a decent enough Evar. I thought, yeah, that's just a generic, basic fantasy human name. Doesn't sound too far off. And then we've got fucking Nettie Ellieri and Elton John and our orc barbarian who is called Orc. At least Stigok had like a decent, it was two people. One time I was just like, you know what, do you want to go something serious? And everyone's like, nah. let's not kid ourselves.
Psst. Hey, lean in closer. This is fucking ASMR channel now. You know what's pretty fucking based? Titties. Go see titties. Lots of titties.
All the titties.
Go over to the website, check out all the models. You guys know the score. We have some really nice looking models over there. And we have a lot of...
sci-fi gothic?
Yeah.
Let's call them sci-fi gothic.
And if models isn't your shit, we have loads of subclasses and we keep adding them every other week or so. We add a lot.
We got a lot.
We've got big brains. We add shit. But yes, go over to the website, check out everything. If you haven't subscribed, what the fuck you doing? Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and let's get back to the video. Due to being souls artificially implanted in identical clones, each of them had soul orbs embedded in their chests.
Iron Man?
One player, by accident, dropped a diamond into his soul orb and couldn't get it out. The interactions between the diamond and the energy in his soul polluted his body over the rest of the campaign, and his body took in the diamond attuning energies. As a result, his body gained vast regenerative...
Like, we're gonna just keep going, alright? It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day.
I'm a mother now, guys. I'm tired all the time. But also became softer and more elastic. He effectively ended up being more like Rubber Band Man than Luffy. Though...
What, did he become Stretch Armstrong or some shit?
And equipped himself with life-aligned armour and materials that he crafted over the course of the game to boost it even further. Oh, you know what he's like? Elastigirl. And he's got a suit. You know Elastigirl from The Incredibles? He's got a suit that stretches. But does he have a thick ass though?
Well, I mean, like that.
If I was able to enhance my body like that, like stretch, I'd give myself the thickest of asses.
Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. What we would all be doing with elastic powers. Look at me. We're the cummins now. We be the cummins.
Another player was obsessed with guns and pursued gunsmithing as a profession. He eventually made a suit entirely out of paper packages of black powder.
What? No, that's not a good idea, guys.
Yeah, no.
That's...
As you all know, black powder was made by a philosopher seeking the elixir of life. As such, the black powder in his armour reacted with his body's natural energies, and he began to revert in cosmetic age. By the end of the game, he was effectively a teenage bodybuilder gunsmith wearing a heavy coat made of firecrackers.
Yeah, so why didn't he come close to a fire and spontaneously fucking explode? I think that would be way more fun. I was talking to Guardbros in his Veil Lighters game, so at the minute they're experimenting with new guns and he wants to just put in a flamethrower, and I asked him, can they explode? And he's like, of course they can explode.
Of course they can. One player decided to take a long grand quest to discover his origins. Since his soul had come from another person he once was before being hit with amnesia and stuffed into a clone body, he eventually discovered that whoever his former self was, they were originally related to dragons. He mutated the hell out of himself with mutagens, magic, and eating various metals and gem powders until he was a twisted, draconic beast.
Was that not a French guy that used to eat cats and shit?
I don't know.
There was a French guy and he had this stomach and he would eat, he was a circus performer and he would eat glass bottles, bits of metal.
Ew.
Yeah, he would eat, he had this, and he had to eat it. It was like a compulsion. Anything he saw, he had to put in his mouth and eat it.
Oh, so if he was here today, he'd be on TLC then?
Yes, he would be. He'd be printing. He'd be like Big Ed of the I can't stop eating shit.
Another player ended up staying entirely unmutated, but not unmutilated. He wanted to just become as strong as possible, and bought, stole, and created steroids to beef up as fast as possible, while also subjecting his body to tons of raw damage and industrial healant fluid to recover the wounds. By the end of the game, he was functionally a cyber barbarian, using tech savvy to get money to pay for more steroids, healing, and training apparatuses. A disgusting mass of muscles and red scar tissue. So, Deadpool without a mask.
Actually, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
this guy's just taking most things from Marvel.
Yeah, it does. It does feel very Marvel inspired. This.
There was also a party swordsman. He was obsessed with ignoring how everyone else used the settings magic system, and cobbled together his own inane methods of magic usage. He eventually ended up grafting a spacecraft to his back.
Well, thank God it was to his back.
And fought a sentient sword made of metallic hydrogen for the right to wield it. That's anime.
That is very anime. I don't know, what is this? Is this Marvel or is this anime at
this point? I don't know.
Unusual. I actually quite enjoy it though. I think these are pretty interesting characters.
Yeah. The last party member, noting that most of the other clones in the game were insane, mindless drones, decided to investigate why that was. He discovered that the party wasn't insane and mindless because they hadn't been injected with the insanity-causing fluids that were used on all the other clones to keep them from outing themselves as a sapient.
Yeah.
He studied the insanity fluid, slowly going insane and transforming into a Shoggoth that had to be killed by the other party members. They pulled his soul orb out and put it in another clone, so it was all good.
Right, you know what this is? This isn't Marvel. This isn't anime. What this is the boss fights in a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know what unit we're going to call this. I don't know what, but it does give me kind of Cobra unit vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
The biggest min-maxer at the table made a fighter to prove he could make any class OP. He kinda surprised me with his strategy. Power gamer, make fighter to prove point. Let's get creative. Turns out he's actually a good role player when he sets his mind to it. Feats and stats seem to be ignored. Spends all his time talking and strategizing. Makes spreadsheet to manage buying and selling swag.
What?
You probably have Excel open to see how much your gold in your fucking...
Don't call me out.
Before I know it, he owns several factories. Trade ties and good relations to most races and factions, even some of the evil ones. How did he do that? Involve himself politically, start making alliances, trains and equips his own army, manages his budding city-state between sessions. He has a 15-year economic growth plan. This guy is more sensible than half our IRL country's politicians. Citizenry is patriotic and entrepreneurial. Living standards is heads and shoulders above most other kingdoms. Charismatic leader, replays loyalty with loyalty. Never willingly leaves even the lowest soldier behind, takes it personal whenever a citizen is wronged. Iron rule of the law, managed by an allied order of lawful good paladins. Subject to rigorous scrutiny from his Department of Justice. Cultivated a cult out of personality without even trying. Officials are incorruptible. They feel no material bribe can outweigh the protection and mutual iron loyalty from their monarch. Bodyguards and generals fanatically loyal to him. Wields no magic. Mediocre combatant. Doesn't have to be. Wizards. Optimized fighters and royal assassins at his command. My face when I realise no classes are OP. My face when I realise the player makes the character, not the class. Granted, it takes cooperative GM, but I saw no reason to not just have a realistic consequences to his many smart decisions. I really think that's the most interesting and play-promoting fighter I've seen. Didn't solve plots, he was just a source of plots. Easiest game I ever ran. Fun too.
That's good. Honestly, this is why charisma is the best stat.
Yeah,
because
100%.
if you can convince
if
other
you can talk your way out of things and you can convince other fuckers to do it,
you know, you'd be surprised how far charisma can actually get.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play in like one of these sorts of games where downtime activities really affect the world, and I would really love to do like an empire building one where like maybe each session is like a year in between.
Yeah.
You know, so like maybe if it's like set to like 20 years, you could almost do like a big huge sort of, I don't know, I think you could do a lot with it, and I would love to do like a big huge overarching one. I just think I'm too retarded to be able to
yeah, you
pull
probably
it off.
are.
Yeah.
Be Human Fighter on 5th edition. Veteran of famous mercenary company.
So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end today. However, like the reason why I wanted to do this thread is because I find
human fighters are based, and we all know that they're based.
Yes, they are, in fact, and there's so many fucking people that I see being like, oh, why would you even play a fighter, let alone a human fighter? It's so boring, it's so this, it's so that. It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
It really is what you
it's the friends you make along the way.
Yeah, well, it is. And, like, honestly, I do feel like, for me personally, I find fighters a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't play them as much as what I used to, but I still do love martial...
Used to or should do?
Should do. Yeah, you're right. Actually, you know what? Let's end it by... Will we talk about your fighter, Megan?
What, my dwarven?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's tell them the story, sure, about that hammer you got, and how...
I can't remember the name of the hammer.
But okay, so
we completely OP.
So we were leaving a dungeon. We had got our wish spell. We decided, you know what, it was you that had access to the wishes. Mm-hmm. You decided, you know what, like, let's go for it. You got yourself a really nice hammer. It would knock people out, and to try it out,
it had AOE of.
It was like a concussion. I can't remember exactly, but. So what happened? How did you go about using that hammer?
On the way out of the dungeon,
we got ambushed.
We got ambushed by, was it a Naga and
no, it was they're like these. They're only from the Spelljammer. I can't remember the name of them, but
this was ages ago. But so me being me, decided, you know what, a small cramped hallway, we're blocked in. What will I do? I'll smash this motherfucking hammer, and I knocked every cunt out.
It was like It was like a con save of like an 18. Otherwise, you're knocked out for a minute.
And then everybody who's knocked out, once I got back up, I done it again.
You know, we were really lucky. Honestly, I nearly died like twice.
Yeah.
I think, did someone die?
Yeah.
I think the cleric died.
Yeah.
But it was a tough fight, and I suppose
a tough fight.
We made it out okay. My favourite fighter that I've played was definitely Big Fat Baz, the Goliath fighter. He was a battle master, and I actually took a few levels into Bard, and that's kind of where I got the idea for the North FC fighter subclass. So if you're not familiar with the North FC meme, it's just taking the piss out of fat, middle-aged, fat Northern English. Have you ever been to Wetherspoons?
Munchy boss.
Yeah.
Box obsessed.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just kind of... I just think it's a lot of fun, and the way it works is like, you burn your bonus actions to have different chants activated with, like, football chants, and different chants give you different abilities and whatnot. I think it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. But I honestly did have so much fun playing Big Fat Baz, the fighter bard.
James played Big Fat Baz in an IRL game.
Yeah,
and I don't think the people really got it.
No, they did, but I was having so much fun.
I know you were. I came one day after work just to sit in to watch the game. I was sitting in, and James was making all these North FC jokes, and all these people around the table were like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, no, none of these absolute fucking normies understand what you're saying, James.
I know.
And James is like, come on in, get in the middle of the fucking game shop, and I'm like, Jesus.
Look, I was having a lot of fun. I'm like, the thing is, right? We get called fucking normies all the time on the internet, but then IRL, it's like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Right, we're too normie for 4chan, but we're not normie enough for normies. Where the fuck do we belong?
I don't know where we belong anymore. But look, that's where I think we're going to end it, as I say. Check the links down below. It helps us out a lot. If you enjoyed this one, there's many more like it.
Yes.
Definitely hit subscribe, notification bell. The actual
notification bell.
The actual fucking subscribe button.
Yes.
But yeah, that's about it. Will we just end it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later, guys. Bye.